Hi there, trendsetters. Dr. Lena Rodriguez coming to you. New chair, same suitcase. The computer's actually sitting on the suitcase as we speak. Most of you, dear intrepid viewers, know I'm on the road supporting family, but I can't stay away. So here I am in another instalment of Life with the Yeti. Okay, let's hope it's not for much longer. Now, trigger warning, just a quick one, because I actually got a comment last week from someone saying, you seem to be very biased against Trump. So obviously they're not regular viewers. Pet. Anyway, just to clear that up, was anyone, no, this is not fair and balanced. No, here we understand he is a filthy and corrupt con man with the brain of a cactus. So let's not go into any more detail about that. Now, speaking of the Yeti, there's now a phenomenon being talked about, and I think we all have to be very careful about this and look after ourselves and each other, because this thing is called the red mirage. And what it's talking about is, because according to some polls, 64% of Republicans are going to vote in person and fewer Democrats. So there could well be a result on election night that looks good for the Yeti. He'll go, you know, whatever Yetis do when they're happy. And then the absentee ballots will start coming in over weeks, and his lead is going to whittle away, and he'll blame everybody, right? So it's called the red mirage, this illusion that he's done all right. Now, of course, America, if you get out and vote in colossal, unprecedented numbers, won't have to deal with this nightmare, but it's a fairly likely scenario, so we have to look at it. So here I'm going to be looking at the red mirage. So, all right, let me bring this screen down to my improvised table here. All right. Oh, there's the Yeti in the middle. All right, what's happening? Now, bang in the center, here he is, the Emperor, stone throne, my way or the highway. He's still wearing his armor underneath the robe, meaning he's pretending to be a civilian president. But underneath, he's not because he's a warrior, he's the opposite, he's a coward, but it's his protection underneath, largely in the form, his armor is effectively Bill Barr. First digression, viewers, is there anyone more irresponsible, corrupt and repulsive than Bill Barr? I doubt it. I doubt it very much. Anyway, here we go. I have to have 6-foot arms here because I'm in this really difficult situation. So, Yeti in the middle as the Emperor. Past actions was trying to cultivate the base, which he did, trying to threaten, abuse, cajole, induce GOP members to toe the line, which he did. This was the love affair, however reluctant, between Trump and the GOP. So his attitude, this is his past attitude, Fred Flintstone, just bludgeon them over the head and they'll finally submit. He's a class act, isn't he, viewers? Okay, now on top of the reading, we have the 5 of Wands. Now, intrepid viewers will know the term argy-bargy. It's a bit of Australian slang, and it's see how they're fighting in a circle. No one's winning, no one's any better or stronger than anyone else. It's just pointless. Argy-bargy means you'll have a sort of contretemps with someone and it doesn't go anywhere. his entire presidency could be summed up as the argy-bargy presidency, couldn't it really, in so many words? So short-term future, we have the world, the bigger picture. This is the end of a huge cycle. Let's hope it's the end of this presidency. But it does affect the world, not only because the US is a huge player, but because the world is also going through similar versions of the same thing. They've all got their own Yetis, right? He's just simply the most famous Yeti. Okay. What is the challenge? The challenge, both for the Yeti and for the public of the USA, is the Seven of Cups. There's still all this, astrologers keep talking about this, those who are talking about this presidency. Sorry, this is so uncomfortable. I can't begin to tell you, Bill. The thing with him is he spreads illusion and delusion, which is what this card's about. Plus, he's not alone. QAnon, which I suspect is an out-and-out Russian operation, but wherever it began, you know, basically saying the Democrats are running pedophile rings and cannibalising their nearest relatives. Extraordinary that people have run with it, but this is part of what astrologers are saying is the Neptune influence on us all. So it's really hard to tell the truth. Now, you guys have had almost 4 years of this blatant gaslighting. The gaslighting is just an extension of the other deeper lies and deceit that have been propagated for generations. He just did it particularly crudely, and it would appear until this point he has got away with it. So it's his gift and his challenge. And I suspect we need another card or two on it as his challenge. Why is this his challenge? Yeah, the Seven of Cups, it's just so deceptive. The person's dazzled, you see, just as he's dazzled by riches, many, at least 40% of the American public are dazzled by this rubbish that they are being fed in their echo chambers. Okay. So why is the Seven of Cups his challenge? Oops. Seven of Cups, please. Oh, here we go. Right, because he's embattled, he's going to be doing more of this. Why is he doing more? Because of the Ace of Cups. He knows he captures the emotions of these people. He sure as hell doesn't capture their brain or their intellect or anything reasonable or grown up or mature. And this raises a broader issue. Please don't misunderstand this, viewers. America is a very young country, and it's like America as a social experiment is a teenager, you know, after 400 years. I mean, if you look around the world, other cultures trace back their written records over 5,000 years, let alone anything else. So a teenager, and he knows he can capture the emotions of people. The Queen of Cups. So this could be a woman who steps in to try and soften what he says. The dreaded Nikki Haley is always lurking. I think the only reason they're not actually running with her now, although I wouldn't rule that out even at the 11th hour, is I think she's smart enough to know I don't want to be associated with this chaos nightmare. When it's over, she'll be part of heading up the new GOP. But it could be someone like Nikki Haley who's attempting to soften what the Yeti is saying. It could even be he's got, it's funny how women relate to Trump in power. It's too mature to be McEnany. I don't know what other women are left around him really except Ivanka. Mm. So I think there's this female energy and it's not him. Who is she? Have to get a clarifier on the clarifier. Now, he's highly embattled now. Don't you love the way he criticised cancel culture? He invented cancel culture. So what's this? Queen of Cups could be America. Just got it, got a flash. Usually the star card turns up for me as the USA. The USA, astrologically, if you take, I think there's two ways in astrology. One is when the revolution ended and one is when the Constitution was signed or something. It's a Cancerian nation, so I think this is the USA. Wow. So it's up to the country to pull him up. And I think this is part of a bigger issue, intrepid viewers, that we're all facing. Remember the world card, we're all facing it. We've got to stop looking to inadequate politicians to save us from these dreadful things that are done in the name of peak capitalism and the fact that we can't seem to address climate change because it would mean big oil would lose some profits. I mean, please spare me, but we're left in this stupid stage of peak capitalism, running hot alongside peak ignorance. We're doing well. Okay, so we need other solutions and they're people driven, is my point. Everyone's forgotten about public service. That's why Trump can say what he says about soldiers. He doesn't understand it, nor do the uber rich understand it. What do you mean doing something for people and not getting paid a huge amount of money? What's that? What language are you speaking? So we need to attract people everywhere in all countries, understand public service, and that you've got to get together. I don't care which country you're in, and you've got to have bipartisan vision on energy, education, and health. You have to have a 20-year vision. So no matter who gets in of our opposition parties, they continue with those three things in a progressive way. Otherwise, every 3 or 4 years, people are just looking at when's my next election? I'll just keep a low profile and get elected again, you know. This is a stupid system. We've inherited a stupid system. And it worked for 40 or 50 years after the Second World War. It wasn't too bad. Most people progressed. However, it is now taken over. Corporations are more powerful than countries. They don't pay tax anywhere because they're everywhere. All of this is a global story, and we have to demand more of our politicians and who becomes a politician. At the moment, you can just put your hand up and go, I'm Gladys from Idaho and I follow QAnon, so if I can get X thousand signatures, I can go into politics. No, I think we need a better vetting system everywhere. I'm not just criticising the States. So the last thing I want to say, viewers, how are we, you, one, going to handle it if this red Mirage hits? Right, so be prepared. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. Love to be wrong. It might be obvious by midnight on the night. But should it not be, don't give up. Don't lose heart. Don't allow yourself to become paralysed with misery and fear. It doesn't help anybody. So it's got to be replaced with a deep calm. So we'll talk in coming weeks, because it's not long now. It's not long now. We'll talk in the coming weeks and about how to actually handle it day to day. And I've run out of time today, but I've promised I'm going to read on the Senate, because why? The most important thing that can happen is for the Dems to take the Senate. It almost doesn't matter if the Yeti's still at the helm. If he hasn't got the Senate, he hasn't got a government. So that is the most important thing, and I promise you. really soon. Have I forgotten anything? Vote early, of course. Vote early and take your ballot to somewhere sensible, you know, to an electoral office or a town hall or wherever you can. Go early and please help someone else to vote. And the other thing, is the editor of The Atlantic, who dropped that article on Vietti's charming comments about service men and women. He said, expect more stories from this. And why hasn't Kelly spoken up? Betty's saving it for a book. Hate that. No, this is the time. Someone was saying in commentary he might be afraid that his family will be targeted or something. That's a consideration. I can't speak for him how I would react in that, but you have been a four-star general and you have been chief of staff and your country is in crisis and this is like no other presidency. So I'd be having conversations, wouldn't you, with the family if that is the reason. You know, so it's a pity Kelly can't bring himself to speak up. But so far he hasn't. Maybe the pressure will build. We'll see. Okay. I'll see you so soon. You'll hardly know I've gone. I love you as always. Thumbs up, please. And see you soon, soon, soon. You won't believe how soon.